Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kevin Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net. Thank you so much for joining me today on my media channel. And there is a blank wall. We don't even have the box to stand up. That means we must be looking at something big. And big we are. We are finally, after tons of shipping problems, going to be looking at the Columbia Classics 4K HD Collection Volume 5. Look, that cute little sticker that says 100 years. So I wanted to unbox this a lot sooner, but well, let's just say the place that I bought it for, they lost the first package. Then there was like a concern whether they could find a replacement, and there was another site that had it, but they were charging like $80 more because these things do tend to go out of print and out of stock relatively quickly. But I managed to get one, and this is one of those sets that I know that if I just don't open it, it will probably be worth a fair bit of money in a couple of years, but I'm going to open it. Now, this one is probably the most awards friendly of the bunch. We have 1, 2, 3 Best Picture winners. We have 1, 2 Best Picture nominees, and this one even got 5 Oscar nominations and won an Oscar for costume design. And the movies are All the King's Men, On the Waterfront, A Man for All Seasons, Tootsies, The Age of Innocence, and Little Women. I'll comment on all of those movies when we get there. As you can see, it's going to be a fold-out case. We have the information in the back. There are digital copies, and by the way, I actually own a lot of these on digital already, so we will be giving some of these away on the channel. Stick around till the end of the video to find out how you can potentially get one of these movies as a digital copy. I'm keeping the discs though, so let's start opening it. This is going to be a little awkward because this thing is so big and I know how it plays out. So let's, no glue this time, they just let you take it out. Solid background, and let me just personally off camera just a little take a, okay, so the codes are not going to fall out. So it opens like this, and I see where the codes are, so I'm going to pull them off screen. So although there is something here that we're going to have to show, I'm not going to show you the codes, but there you go. So aside from this great packaging, and by the way, this is my favorite color of the bunch so far, one of the things that's in there is, of course, the book. We have the coffee table book, which we will not, do this. Now, here's the thing. I believe these have been hints about what is to come. And I think we have now officially gotten all of these quotes. So I do wonder if this is going to be the end of the set, because I don't see a movie here that has not come with these quotes. So volume 5 might be the last one. At the end of this book, we do have a disc. Now, I believe this disc, if I remember correctly, is like a, it's a bonus disc. And by the way, here's what might be on the bonus disc. We have this slip of paper. The bonus disc includes 5 films. The Price She Paid, Ladies of Leisure, The Belle of Broadway, The Desert Bride, and The Scarlet Lady. These are movies that I've heard of. I've never actually watched them, so you do get 5 bonus movies with this set, and I bet you they're going to be exclusive to this set as well. Some of these movies have had individual 4K releases, but those movies will probably remain exclusive to this set. I don't know if they're going to be true HD. They'll probably be standard on 4K, but whatever. So we have the legacy. We have all the information on these movies by different authors. Keith Phillips, I do like his writing. He's writing for On the Waterfront. I haven't heard of Peter Tokyo. I do love A Man for All Seasons. Julie Kurgo, she's good. Peter Bradshaw. Oh yeah, I'm glad to see him contributing an article to this book. And Shirley Lee. I haven't heard of her, but I look forward to reading her essay. So those books are always a highlight for me. I love reading them. I actually do read them when they're done. Now let's start with the movies. We'll try to do them in order. So the first one is All the King's Men. This won 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, about a good man who becomes an elected politician. He runs on the people, and then he ends up being corrupt. We're gonna hold off on commentary on that one because I don't want to get in trouble. So here's the cover they did. This was the original poster of that movie, and this is like the famous shot of it. So that is All the King's Men. Then we have another Best Picture winner. This one won 8 Academy Awards, and it's probably Marlon Brando's finest performance outside of The Godfather. About a kid who used to be a fighter who threw the fight and now struggles on the street and has to deal with like a corrupt working conditions. Very, very movie. He also may have contributed to the death of his love interest's brother. That's the poster. Movie making of a rare. By the way, this is a movie where that whole "I could have been a contender" speech came from. This is the original movie poster. It's wonderful. Oh, by the way, if you want to know what the discs look like, this is really clever. They have on the waterfront. This is the 4K. It's interesting that they have this too. Now it says 1.37 alternate presentation. So I think that, because I've always watched this in widescreen, maybe, so let's look at the 4K discs here. So disc 1 is the presentation of the film, disc 2 is the alternate presentation of the film, and disc 3. So there must have been 2 presentations of the film because I think widescreen was still not exactly a common thing at the time, and as a result, they made 2 versions of the film for the different aspect ratios. I'm pretty certain the widescreen version is the one you should watch, but they have the alternate version in case you're curious what it looked like. Now, because we skipped this, let's go back. So this is the 4K here, the Blu-ray there. This one they kind of reversed. The last time I think it was the original artwork that was the 4K, like the original picture, and the Blu-ray had the poster artwork. Now it's the 4K. So I don't know if that's like a mistake or if we're going to see like a little flipping of the back and the forth. We will see. Oh, I don't want this thing to fall off. So like I said, it's hard to unbox these things sometimes, folks, when they're big like this. So now we have A Man for All Seasons, another Best Picture winner. This one won 6 awards. I really like this movie. I really do. I know a lot of people have conflicted feelings about this. I actually like that this is one of the few films that actually feels like a Christian film that won Best Picture, showing that Christian films don't have to be boring, and B, they can be good. So this is the artwork that they provided. This has been on the DVD for a long time, but this is really what the original poster looked like, and I don't think there's really any special features on this one. It doesn't look like it. So it's also one of the few G-rated films to win Best Picture. So I definitely like this artwork. Like I said, this is the artwork they've primarily been using for the DVD for years, but this was the original poster. So that's great. Now we got our Best Picture winners out of the way. All right, after that brief little cut and slight shift because I was running out of storage, let's continue with the second side. This is where no Best Picture winners, but some nominees come through. This is Tootsie, one of the greatest comedies of all time by Sidney Pollack, starring Dustin Hoffman as an out-of-work actor who dresses in drag to get on a sitcom and ends up discovering a lot about the opposite sex in The Process. This is the original. You get America's hottest new actress. We have some special features on the Blu-ray. I'm gonna look at it. So we're continuing the tradition that the original artwork is on the 4K disc while the studio modern one is on the Blu-ray. That's fine. Totally get it. I think that's a good way to do it. I really love that one. And now we're going to get to a Scorsese film, The Age of Innocence, the only movie that is not nominated for Best Picture, but it is a great movie. One for Best Costume Design. By the way, this one for Best Supporting Actress for Jessica Lange. I don't know if I would have picked that picture personally. This is also really good. Joel Siegel called it a masterpiece. It's phenomenal, and it is, because it's Martin stinking Scorsese. And we have the original poster. The funny thing is, like, they make this really look like a super steamy movie. It's not really. Okay, so they're going to kind of buck with tradition on this one a little bit. There's no original poster artwork on either of the discs, although I do like that they highlight the two main relationships in the movie. That's so I guess I can understand why they do that, but that consistency thing. And then we do have a Best Picture nominee, but here's an unpopular opinion. I don't like this one. This is Greta Gerwig's Little Women, and a lot of people love this. It was nominated for Best Picture and everything, but I do not like this movie. Now, I think I could like it. I don't like it for a very specific reason, and that reason, honestly, is probably not a reason most people think about. I do not like how this is edited. This is done in kind of almost like a modern day thing where they show where the characters wind up at the end of the film at the beginning. So how relationships are going to play out, and then you watch the movie and find out how they got to that point. Little Women has never been written like that. It was never supposed to be consumed that way. I don't know what the point is of showing the end of the relationships at the beginning of the film, because it's like, well, what are you leading up to then? So I think this is a poorly edited film. Had they left those scenes at the end and let the story progress the way it's supposed to, I probably would have liked it, because otherwise it is well made. But, Charisse Ronan is the one that is on the cover. That makes sense. Peter Travers is the guy who they quote this time from Rolling Stone. And they have the poster underneath, of course. You can totally tell when it starts getting more modern. I, by the way, don't know why this is rated PG. It probably should be G, if we're being honest. Let's go here, and they're definitely going with all original artwork on this one. This, by the way, was the Blu-ray artwork, and this is actually the primary reason why I never bought this thing, was because it was only on Blu-ray, and it's like, don't really love the movie, so I'm not going to get it unless it's in 4K. Now it's in 4K, so I'm going to get it, but they're using the Blu-ray artwork and all that jazz. And so those are the 6 films, and I hope they continue the series. I'd like to see the series get to 10. 10 volumes. I think that'd be a good place to kind of, bring it to an end. But we'll have to wait and see how they decide to do it. Since it is also a 100-year celebration, maybe they could release enough of these sets to get to 100 films. That's going to take up a lot of shelf space, but I think it'd be great. So anyway, that being said, I mentioned that I had a lot of these on digital already, and so the digital codes I received, I don't really need. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway, and we're going to discuss first which movies I'm going to be giving away and which ones I will not be. Now, the first one I will not be giving away is Little Women, because I do not have that one on digital, so I'm going to keep that digital copy. I do, however, have The Age of Innocence on digital, so that will be given away. I also have Tootsie on digital. That will be given away as well. Let's put this back here. I do not, however, have this on digital, so this digital copy I will be keeping. And it's going to bring me one step closer to having all my Best Picture winners on digital copy, even though that will probably get screwed because of Coda. I have this on digital. I'll be giving that away. And A Man for All Seasons, I have it on digital. So I will be giving this one away. So I'm only going to be keeping 2 of these digital copies. Just 2. Now, how are you going to be able to get these copies? Well, first of all, you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and you're going to want to turn the notifications on, because I'm going to create shorts and I'm going to show the code, and whoever gets the code first and goes to moviesanywhere.com will get to keep the movie. Now, these are not going to be put on a specific date or a specific time. They're not even going to be put in row of order. Don't come here tomorrow expecting one of these codes to be given away. They're going to be completely random throughout the next 2 months. But you subscribe and you have the alert, and you will have a chance to get one of these digital codes. Although I will say the first one will come up within the next week or so. So I'm not going to make you wait till like December or something to have the first one. We're going to give one away relatively soon. Now, as for the set, this is very much a worthy set to have if you are a huge fan of movies. They have, as always, picked some great ones. Okay, I didn't like this one very much, but a lot of people did, so I understand why it's there. It's a modern movie, and it did not have a 4K release before, which is one of the reasons they make these sets. Like, I mean, I think it's best that they put movies in the sets that don't have 4K releases, at least in America, first. I think one of the sets had a movie in there that already had an individual 4K release, and that kind of annoyed me a little bit. But if you love even some of these movies, and I don't know why you wouldn't like most of them. All the King's Men, maybe that's not aged as well, so unless you're like a huge movie fan, that one you might not care for too much. And I personally don't think Little Women's that great. And people do have mixed feelings about A Man for All Seasons, even though I personally really like it. But, I mean, there are at least 3 certified classics. These 2 are considered a couple of the greatest movies of all time. This one's considered very good. A lot of people like Little Women. These 2 won Best Picture, so of course you'd want them part of your collection. So I think this is a great set. This might be one of the best sets that they've done so far of the Columbia Classics lineup. And like I said, we looked at that book. They have now gotten through all of the quotes on the books, which I was correct. They were hints about what was to come. There's no more quotes. Is this going to be the last one? I hope it continues, but if it is the last one, it's definitely going out on a high note, in my opinion. And now the question is, are you going to get this set? And what do you think of the selection? Do you like it? Do you have the other sets? And do you think this series should continue? I would love to know, so comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And I'll see you at the movies. Take care, everyone. Hey, you made it to the end. Thank you so much for making it to the end. Just a few more things. First of all, the names that you see on the screen, these are our Patreon and YouTube member supporters. And I thank each and every one of them. Their support helps me make exclusive videos for Patreon and YouTube members, as well as keep the channel running. And of course, is just of huge kindness to me. Also, don't forget to check out the iCritic-led podcast on Spotify, Apple, Google, Deezer, whatever podcasting service you listen to. It is there. We definitely want to see you there. And hey, there's also other videos that you can check out. So, check out these other channels, these other videos, especially that one. I think that's a really good one.